Now let's get a check of that forecast with meteorologist Nicole Pape. Good morning.
Good morning, Ted. Yeah, we're still looking at the same system that's been impacting us the last few days, with rain coming back around for us today, though it won't be a very soggy morning. Only a few pockets of drizzle and mistiness out there. Today's planner calls for a chance of showers to pop up more so in the afternoon as temperatures reach 73 degrees today. Mountain towns reach 67 degrees, so this is a little warmer than it's been. With Futurecasts, we'll continue to look again at mainly midday into the afternoon hours for chances for showers, maybe even a brief rumble of thunder. Can't rule it out completely by the late afternoon, but you'll notice that tomorrow the rain chance becomes a little more widespread and greater in the afternoon and evening. As we see better rain chances later in the week, we're also seeing temperatures climb. So from the 70s today, it gets closer to 80 tomorrow, and then it's into the 80s from Friday into Father's Day weekend. So if you want more on the forecast, watch the morning news from 4:30 to 9 a.m. and again at 10 a.m. You can also catch the 4, 5, 10, and 11 o'clock newscasts. More on our Fox Carolina News app, our social media pages, and our YouTube channel.
Train, I'm cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And know that notion just crossed my mind. This old engine makes it on time. Leave Central Station about 8:45. It's Rebel Junction at 17:2 at 9:45. You know it's traveling again. Driving that train, I'm cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And know that notion just crossed my mind. Trouble ahead, the lady in red. Take my advice, you'd be better off dead. Switchman sleeping train, 102 is on the wrong track and headed for you. Driving that train, I'm cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And you know that notion just crossed my mind.
The Morning News starts right now.
Good morning to you and happy Wednesday, June 17th. I'm Ted Payton and thanks for joining us here on the Morning News on Fox Carolina. We'll get started right away with the forecast. Meteorologist Nicole Pape watching it. What's so funny?
I'm glad you said Wednesday because your screen said Tuesday, June 17th, and I was like, wait a minute. It's not. I caught myself for a second. So
Yeah.
glad you clarified.
Can't catch me today.
Yeah, Ted's on it. Ted is on it in the middle of the week. We're looking today at rain chances once again, which likely will provide a very similar pattern to yesterday. The one thing that changes is that temperatures today will warm up a little more than they've been. Still watching the most widespread shower and storm activity far to the east, just north of Charlotte. Mountain towns are seeing some drizzle right now. We have a little bit of that in the upstate, so there's a 20% chance that you could have sprinkles out this morning. It is in the 50s right now, so be prepared for a cool start to the day. It's in the 60s at midday with a high of 73 in the upstate and 67 in North Carolina. The afternoon does bring a better chance for rain than the morning, and here's a look at 5 p.m. on Futurecast showing that pretty nicely. Tomorrow's going to be pretty similar where we start basically dry, but the afternoon Thursday brings a more widespread chance for showers and storms. So make sure you're watching ahead for that. We'll give you a close look at what to expect with Futurecast and the rest of your forecast coming up in a few minutes, Ted.
Nicole, thanks. Time right now is 4:31 and happening now a somber anniversary as today marks 5 years since 9 worshipers were gunned down by a white supremacist in Charleston. This is a look near Mother Emanuel AME Church that day in 2015. Dylan Roof walked into the church during a Bible study before pulling out a gun and opening fire. The shooting sent shockwaves through South Carolina and around the world. 9 people were killed, and this is a look at the victims. One of them, Clemente Pinckney, the pastor and state senator. Later today, a unity march will be held downtown to remember those lost. People will walk through town and stop at Mother Emanuel this afternoon, where they will hear from family members of the victims. Also happening today in Charleston, city leaders are expected to announce the future of the John C. Calhoun statue downtown. Activists and community leaders called for its removal this week, saying that the state's Heritage Act should be repealed to allow controversial monuments to be more easily removed. Well, back in the upstate, after days of tense moments among each other, protesters and supporters of an upstate Confederate monument are coming together to find common ground. Fox Carolina's Shell Ramin has more on the story.
Racism exists, and if you don't think it exists, that's ignorance.
Standing on either side of Main Street in Walhalla, you have a group tightly holding on to the Confederate flag and another wearing Black Lives Matter.
I do stand for the monument because somebody died. It ain't about heritage with me or hate. I love all race.
These were the points we heard before two groups met under the statue that divided them.
But I know that we have one thing in common. I know that we all believe in God.
Together, they met in the middle, starting off with a prayer and then listening to the other's perspective.
We cannot place everything in a museum that happened in history. If we did, the whole United States would be in a museum.
The Black Lives Matter movement says their last concern is the monument or flag. It's a bigger fight.
To be able to walk around and not somebody not throw up a rebel flag in their face or call them the N-word.
I love y'all the same as I would anybody else. Y'all are my fellow Americans.
By the end, they joined together.
Right here with you, okay? I'm right here. I fight against injustice.
Confederate flags marching side by side with those in black t-shirts.
No justice, no peace.
If we don't stand together, we will all fall.
Shell Ramin, Fox Carolina News.
Powerful message right there. Now in western North Carolina, Buncombe County will begin the process of replacing Confederate monuments in Asheville. City Council approved a resolution last week to call for the removal of repurposing the Vance Monument, the Robert E. Lee Dixie Highway, the Colonel John Connolly Parker marker, and the 60th Regiment of North Carolina Memorial, all of which became a target of protests. Last night, County Council passed a resolution with a vote of 4-3. It removes monuments in Pack Square outside the courthouse. They also formed a task force to give recommendations on removing or repurposing the Vance Monument. The commissioners listened to citizens' comments on the issue. 549 were in favor, while 19 were against. Turning to the coronavirus this morning, some local 4th of July festivals are now officially canceled due to the pandemic. Greenville city officials announced the annual Wells Fargo Red, White, and Blue July 4th Festival will not happen this year. The city says that the significant spike in the number of new cases forced them to make the move. Now, the city of Fountain Inn also canceled its 4th of July event. The city posted on Facebook that it cannot ensure proper social distancing and safety measures due to the large crowds that it draws. And a Clemson bar is closing its doors after a worker tested positive for COVID-19. Tigertown Tavern says that the employee got the results Tuesday morning. They say that they are closing until further notice. And a popular spot in Greenville is also closing to clean after a staff member tested positive for COVID. Barley's says that the entire team is now getting tested and a professional crew will come in to disinfect. Here is a look at today's numbers in South Carolina. 595 new cases, more than 100 of those in the upstate. DHEC says of the more than 4,300 tests done yesterday, 13.7% came back positive. In total, the Palmetto State has seen just under 20,000 cases and 607 deaths. 79% of those who tested positive have recovered. And in North Carolina, more than 45,800 cases are confirmed. Sadly, there are also 1,100 deaths. And in Georgia, more than 59,000 cases and more than 2,500 deaths at this time. For the latest on the pandemic, be sure to stay with Fox Carolina News in the Fox Carolina News app. It's free to download. You can find it in your App Store or Google Play. 4:36 this morning, getting back to that forecast where Nicole watches things for us on that radar.
That's right, Ted. And yet again, we're looking at a mostly dry morning and then some scattered rain and possibly even a thunderstorm in the afternoon. The thunderstorm risk today is fairly low, so I do expect mostly just showers and maybe even a brief downpour, but it's mainly going to impact again the later hours of the day. Mountain towns right now are seeing a few pockets of drizzle and mistiness. That's going to continue, and then we'll see some of that push into the upstate as well. Temperatures this morning are in the 50s to lower 60s. Even places like Toccoa, Hartwell, Greenwood, Abbeville, and Spartanburg sit in the 50s right now. Highs do warm up a little more than they did in the last few days. Oh, the upstate should say 73 degrees for today. Mountain towns about 67 degrees. Definitely one of those times where we will continue to see a warm up over the next few days. I'll give you a look ahead to that coming up in a few minutes. Ted.
Nicole, thanks. 4:37, a new drug shows promise of being a viable treatment for COVID-19. More details are coming up. We had to break this morning, taking a live look over I-85, where it is still early, but a number of cars out there to start this Wednesday. We'll have a look at things all morning long. You're watching the local station.
You're watching Fox Carolina News, the local station.
Welcome back to the morning news on Fox Carolina. Taking a live look at South Carolina State House in our state capital, Columbia. Of course, still dark as we get started this morning. Been following a lot of news across the state in terms of the coronavirus numbers, the latest in the pandemic, and how it's impacting our local area in the upstate and western North Carolina, as well as northeast Georgia. We'll have those details throughout the morning. But speaking more on the coronavirus, time right now 4:41. A potential breakthrough in the battle against COVID-19 as researchers in the UK announced promising results for a clinical trial. Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork has details on a drug that experts say could save thousands of lives.
As countries grapple with new coronavirus outbreaks, researchers in England are offering a glimmer of hope. They say they've identified a life-saving COVID-19 drug. According to the University of Oxford, the steroid called dexamethasone is the first treatment shown to improve the chances of surviving an illness that has killed more than 400,000 people globally.
If we'd known at the beginning what we know now, I think we could have perhaps saved 5,000 lives.
The most striking results were among severely ill hospitalized patients. In a preliminary study, the steroid cut mortality by 1/3 for those on ventilators. For patients on oxygen, it reduced the risk of dying by 1/5. However, the drug did not appear to help those whose lungs were working sufficiently well. With no vaccine available and still much unknown about the virus, the discovery is being hailed as a breakthrough.
While the chances of dying from COVID-19 have been greatly reduced by this treatment, they're still far too high.
Beyond the promising results, the findings are notable because dexamethasone is already widely available and, for that matter, inexpensive. A huge benefit as nations with limited access to health care continue to fight the pandemic.
It's on almost every pharmacy shelf in every hospital. It's available throughout the world and it's extremely cheap.
A full analysis of the trial is expected to be released in the coming days. The WHO, the World Health Organization, meanwhile, says it will then update its guidance to reflect how and when the drug should be used to treat COVID-19. In Washington, I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
Well, the Easley YMCA and pool are back open after staff contracted coronavirus. Multiple counselors with the popular summer camp tested positive for COVID-19 last week, which led to the building being shut down and sanitized. Well, they opened their doors back up 4 days later, and now all staff members who tested negative for COVID are working. Fox Carolina's Kayla Conboy has more on the steps that they're taking to ensure safety.
When you walk into the Easley Y, it's clear things have changed since the virus. Staff members are wearing masks. There are even signs everywhere reminding people to practice social distancing. There's also a table with sanitizer bottles for everyone to grab.
We closed really out of abundance of caution. We really weren't required to close and do the testing that we did, but we felt that it was absolutely necessary to do it that way.
Because several camp counselors who work with kids all day long tested positive for the virus.
Once we were able to work with DHEC to contact tracing, we were able to figure out who was exposed, and we contacted those for quarantine, or DHEC contacted them for quarantine.
So they spent days testing and cleaning, and yesterday was the camp's first day back, and only the counselors who had negative tests were able to come back to work.
The campers had to have a negative test in order to attend, and they also had to have their temperatures checked, as they always have, and then the counselors as well had a negative test, but we were able to reopen really at the parents' request.
It was the parents who came to them, saying how vital the summer camp and child care program is.
Child care is going to be a critical piece for our economy to get going again, and so for us, we want to figure out how can we provide child care in a safe environment and also providing these services that we need to for our community.
Kayla Conboy, Fox Carolina, The Morning News.
Now, the YMCA tells us that their main focus is on customer safety, saying outbreaks and positive cases are popping up in a lot of YMCAs around the country, and that the health of their community is of their utmost importance. We'll, of course, have continuing coverage as more changes develop in the wake of the outbreak. You can always find the latest at foxcarolina.com as well as on our social media pages.
Fox Carolina weather. Weather rates certified most accurate.
throughout the day today, you'll notice temperatures end up a little milder than they've been in the last few. And later this week, storms return before it gets incredibly hot this weekend. These are things we will look ahead to coming forward into the days going into the rest of the week. But we're going to stick around with this stalled upper level low pressure system that's been giving us rain chances for a couple of days now. It continues today. You can see a lot of the heaviest rain north of Raleigh and north of Charlotte, but we will stay in range for some of that to make its way in our direction later on. We're also still watching the tropics. There's a 10% potential still for tropical development off the Carolinas coastline. This system is pushing northward, and we're really not expecting it to become a named storm, but it is still at least enhancing some of the moisture that is in store for the southeast in the couple of days that last through the rest of the week. As far as this morning is concerned, you'll notice a few pockets of light showers in the mountains, some drizzles potential here in the upstate. Really not looking at a big issue in the morning as far as rain. It starts to pick up a bit by midday in the mountains, and then the afternoon becomes a bit more scattered for all of us. I wouldn't call today widespread. It's mainly spotty to scattered at times as far as the amount of rain you'll see, but we're really going to see the coverage increase by tomorrow. A couple showers may last into tonight. Tomorrow morning again looks mainly dry, and then tomorrow afternoon the showers and storms become a little bit more scattered to widespread. So there will be more activity on Thursday than there is today. Temperatures right now sit in the 50s to lower 60s. Downtown Greenville's the warmest at 62 degrees. It's 57 up in Asheville. It's 59 in Spartanburg, 57 for Toccoa this morning. In the upstate, your high does get to 73 degrees. Yesterday stayed in the 60s. So this is going to feel really good today. It'll be mostly cloudy with, again, that chance for scattered showers. Mountain towns, we're looking at a 67 degree day. Again, warmer than yesterday, but still cooler than it should be for this time of year. So with scattered rain and comfortable temperatures, we're going to rate your day today a 7 out of 10. This is a little bit improved since yesterday. It's very likely where it will hover for the rest of the week. We are going to continue looking at a chance for afternoon showers and storms today, tomorrow, and into Friday. Look at how temperatures climb, though. 79 degrees tomorrow, 84 for the end of the week, and then into Saturday, that's the first day of summer. Highs get back to 88 degrees with minimal chances for rain and storms. And then Father's Day on Sunday is mostly dry, but reaching 90. So celebrating Dad, maybe a hot one. That hot weather will last into next week with rain chances increasing toward Tuesday and the middle of the week. So enjoy the fact that today and tomorrow stay in the 70s before the big warm up comes. Getting to the roads, we'll talk about that at 5 o'clock, but first head back to some more of our morning headlines.
Absolutely, Nicole. Time right now is 4:48, and a country music legend is returning to the stage with a unique experience for fans. Coming up, we'll have some of the details, and I think he's got some friends in low places. And don't forget that we do birthday shout-outs here on The Morning News. Be sure to send us the name, date, and hometown to birthdays at foxcarolina.com. Let us know if you'd like to see that birthday shout-out in either the 7 or 8 o'clock hour. We'll be happy to get that up for you. Certainly something that can help you celebrate during this pandemic. And of course, a live look over I-85 as we get ready to head to break. It is early, but those traffic updates starting every 10 minutes here at 5. And before we let you go, got to share some of those winning lottery numbers. Midday, pick 3, 121. Pick 4 is 6273. Evening winning numbers, pick 3 is 598. Pick 4, 1442. Your cash 5 is 5, 9, 21, 27, 36. And your multiplier is 10. And over to the Mega Millions. 21, 23, 33, 35, 42, and 6. Best of luck. The local station will be right back after this quick break.
A good Wednesday morning. I'm Cody Alcorn. Of course, we'll be here throughout the day following any breaking news, so make sure you download our Fox Carolina News app. And of course, we'll see you this afternoon at 4 and 5 and tonight on the 10 o'clock news. Be safe.
every second, every moment. We've got to make it last. I touch you once, I touch you twice. I won't let go at any price. I need you now, like I need you then. You always said we'd still be friends someday. If you leave, I won't cry, I won't waste one single day. But if you leave, don't look back, I'll be running the other way. 7 years went under the bridge, like time was standing still. Heaven knows what happens now. You gotta say you will. I touch you once, I touch you twice. I won't let go at any price. I need you now, like I need you then. You always said we'd meet again. I touch you once, I touch you twice. I won't let go at any.
Welcome back to the morning news on Fox Carolina. Yeah, dark look out there as we get things started. 4:53. You know you're being productive on a Wednesday when you're up before the sun comes up. Glad that you're with us. We'll talk to Nicole here in just a little bit to find out what the forecast is looking like and how we can get after this day.
Fox Carolina's senior shoutouts are sponsored by Publix. Congratulations to all 2020 graduates from Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Well, it's time again for our senior shout-outs, and this is Brandy Addison of Greenwood. She just graduated from the Connections Academy. She is now enrolled at Piedmont Tech to study nursing. Congratulations to you, Brandy. Next up, we have Shadeja Key. She just graduated from TL Hanna with honors. Congratulations to you, Shadeja. Hopefully having a wonderful, wonderful morning. Definitely bright future ahead for both. If you would like us to give your senior a shout out, head over to foxcarolina.com. We have a link to submit your pictures and fill out information on the homepage. We can't accept professional photos, so please send us a picture that you've taken. Again, you can find that link on the homepage, or you can find it inside the Fox Carolina News app.